Good Monday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Joseph Peterson. Let's go ahead and talk about the weather for your Monday evening going into your future. We have some stuff that we are going to talk about tonight as the time just expired on the timer, so let's go on and talk about that. But first, before we get into that, if you have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. If you have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. We are we are at 3 people watching and so far 3 likes. So far, most everyone has hit the like button so far. Also, make sure you go and hit the share button. Share with all the people that you know. We're at 615 subscribers, trying to get to the main goal of 785, away from that main goal. That, and then also, make sure that you tune in also for the rest of the week, as we're going to be talking about some other stuff, especially as we get into Thursday. We'll have the drop monitor prediction, and then as we get into next week, that would be for our Thanksgiving week. But we'll get into that, later, not right now. But also, what are we going to talk about tonight? So we're going to talk about the weather tonight, obviously. We're also going to talk about what's currently going on, obviously, that. And then we also will talk about the tropics, continue to talk about the tropics. We'll talk about our patterns, our temperatures, all that stuff, all the same stuff that we've been talking about. Pretty much we're going to talk about as we go into tonight. And so now that is out of the way, let's go on and talk about what's currently going on. So as we currently look at our radar, there is currently nothing going on throughout the entire state of South Carolina right now. It's not a real shocker, as we are not receiving any sort of rainfall activity. If we go on and scroll our way out, let's see what's going on throughout the entire U.S. Rainfall that goes on over inside of the Midwest, all the way over inside of the central U.S., from Illinois to Indiana to Iowa, even over into South Dakota and Nebraska. We also do have some snowfall going on over here, rainfall/snow going on inside of North Dakota, and some snowfall going on in New York and Vermont. We also do have some rainfall going on over here in the west, and some snowfall going on in the higher elevations as well. So that's all that's going on right now throughout the entire U.S. What's going on in terms of the state, in terms of cloud cover? Cloud cover for sure definitely is occurring over the state right now, rather it be over the upstate, rather it be over the low country, or the Grand Strand/PD area. There is cloud cover ongoing, and that will continue to go as we go on and push this forward. That as we might even have some fog that could pop up as we get through tonight, going throughout the low country, especially that lower low country area. And if we continue that forward even more, fog really the only thing, and then cloud cover for the most part is non-existent until we get into later tomorrow, like evening, / going into the nighttime hours. Cloud cover definitely will be a bit of a concern. Not really because it's like bad or anything like that, but just concerning because it is there. And so we continue even further all the way into now. This is Wednesday morning. Cloud cover is really still starting to take back over, even as you go into Wednesday night as well. So cloud cover definitely is making that return. Current temperatures right now: 51 in Columbia, as well as 49 in Orangeburg, 49 in Somerville, as well as 52 in Georgetown, 54 inside of Murray's Inlet, as well as 55 in Myrtle Beach, 49 in Conway, and 50 inside of Florence, 51 in Hartsville, and even around 53 in North Myrtle Beach, 56 or 55 inside of Charleston, even around 50 in Rock Hill, 51 in York, and 52 inside of Gaffney, even around 51 in Spartanburg, and 53 inside of Greenville. I think that these temperatures are a bit more on the higher side, or my thing is just really ahead. I think my thing's just a little bit a bit lower. My weather station, my older one, because right now it's around 46. But again, it's not obviously on the ground. It's what the forecast is, and so for the most part, temperatures, they're not going to be exactly on the dot all the time in terms of current temperatures, but definitely they're not like far off or anything like that. But low temperatures for tonight, this is the actual forecast: 41 in Greenville, 38 inside of Spartanburg, even around 38 in Rock Hill, 39 in Columbia, as well as 39 in Camden, 36 inside of Florence, even 43 in Myrtle Beach, 41 inside of Conway and Georgetown and Moncks Corner, 50 inside of Charleston, even around 55 in Hilton Head Island, 40 in Walterboro, 39 inside of Barnwell, 40 also inside of Aiken and Greenwood. Now, high temperatures for tomorrow be around 68 in Greenville and even around Spartanburg and Rock Hill, 60 79 inside of New Bern, 71 in Columbia, 73 in Orangeburg and Barnwell, and even around 73 in Walterboro, 70 Moncks Corner, 69 inside of Charleston, and 70 in Hilton Head, and even around 66 in Myrtle Beach. Rainfall as we go into tonight, going into tomorrow. For the most part, no precipitation is expected as we go throughout tonight and as we go throughout tomorrow. So we are not expecting any sort of rainfall or just accumulable precipitation at that point. Crazy score, we're at a 13. If you have no idea what the crazy score is, the score that we see how crazy the weather is inside of South Carolina. And tonight, we're at a 13. Why? Well, dry conditions, cool temperatures, clear, patchy fog possible, especially near bodies of water. But I saw the majority of that flooding, or not flooding, but fog cover come from the lower low country. But overall, the atmosphere is stable. SPC outlook for tonight, thunderstorms are not expected as we go throughout tonight. Same thing with tomorrow. But Wednesday, same thing. Wednesday is the same thing. I remember on Tuesday's forecast, it showed a little bit of a thunderstorm risk for us over here on Tuesday. But they have now pushed it further north, and so no longer a thunderstorm risk for us on Tuesday. Excessive rainfall, no excessive rainfall is expected for us as we go into the next 5 days as well. And so let's go on and look at the models. Models showing for the most part right now, obviously nice and dry conditions as we go throughout tomorrow. Same thing, nice dry conditions, but you can see rainfall coming in from the north, and that's where potentially some thunderstorm activity can go. And look at this as we get into around 6 o'clock in the morning here on November the 19th, being Wednesday. It shows rainfall moving its way down into the state. Is it a lot? No. Seems like just mostly the isolated, the scattered shower activity will move its way down into the upstate, maybe even a bit into like the lower upstate by around like 10 a.m. But after that, we stay dry for a good amount of the day until we get into around 5 o'clock p.m. 5 o'clock p.m. goes on the 19th, and we're starting to see a huge amount of shower activity start to go as we go into that evening hours on Wednesday. So something just to watch for. Will it occur? Right now, I mean, it's still 48 hours out, but we're in that shorter term now. So things definitely, so we're going to have to look at it, but for now, still far out to tell exactly where it's going to be at. Now, if we go on and look at our long-term future, go on and push this forward right here. Again, you're not really seeing too much until you get to around like the 22nd going into the 23rd. Shows some rainfall. Quick system moving through this right here is a cold front. But we'll come back and talk about that in a second. Past that, though, we're not seeing really any more rainfall in terms of like major storm system. I mean, you have some rainfall, obviously, but for the most part, the next major system that probably will try to move through will be like on like one of the last couple of days of November. Rather be the 29th or the 30th. Shows rainfall and it shows a huge amount of cold air behind it. But that's over 300 hours out, so we can't tell exactly what's going to happen there. But if I go on now and look at this cold front right here that we were just talking about, the one on the 22nd, look at that dry air moving its way down over into the state of South Carolina. Now, this is not temperatures. Remember, this is not temperatures. This is cold. This is just air in terms of how dry the air is, air moisture. And so you can even look at the actual anomalies as well. Anomalies right now even show that it's not really going to be too much cooler than average, but just because it's not going to be cooler than average does not mean that it's still not going to be chilly, because even if you go into the actual temperatures themselves, temperatures are down inside the 40s at the nighttime, so going to like early morning. So just because temperatures are a little bit above average, that does not mean that temperatures still will not be chilly, especially for this time of year. And so those temperatures will stay, and they will rebound as we get into around like the 70s to 80s as you go into like November the 29th-ish. But then there goes like another cold front that moves its way through, and we have temperatures back down into the 60s from what we've been seeing. And then definitely some freezing temperatures could potentially be returning as we go into early December. But too far out to tell exactly. We'll continue to watch for that. You can even see the actual anomaly itself, and you can see how that cold air infiltrates its way through the state as you go into the first couple of days of December. that's all that I really have for the long-term future, as there's not really too much else for me to really say. I mean, you can always just look at like the JMA and just see like the patterns for it, but the patterns pretty much that we have been, for the most part, seeing. Let me go in and refresh this real quick. The patterns for the most part from what we have been seeing, if we go back, there we go. This is what's currently going on. I mean, for right now, I mean, it just looks like everything's just kind of zonal flow right now, or just kind of just normal. Nothing's really, there's not like some huge ridge until we get into like the next couple of days, though. It might potentially form there, but for the most part, we're not really seeing any sort of like huge hot, air until potentially later. But then a trough will try to move through. That will go into like that November time frame, like late November time frame, like before Thanksgiving or so. But other than that, that's all that I really have to say there in terms of the model. Let's go on and talk about the tropics, as there is no tropical cyclone activity that is expected as we go throughout the next 7 days. We are good in terms of tropical cyclone activity as we go throughout the next 7 days. If we go and look at the models for that as well, the ensembles for the tropics, shows absolutely nothing. I don't think anyone's really shocked by that either, as it shows that there is no activity going on except for like this little area up here. For the most part, though, nothing else is going on. And so that's it for the tropics. So let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. We're going to start off first with my Aunt Lula, who is here first tonight. She says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Mr. Chris says, good evening, everyone. Hope you had a great day. I did. Thank you so much for asking. Good evening to you. My Aunt Lula comes back and says, I pray all is well. All is well. Mr. Chris says, please remember to go and hit the like button and the subscribe button if you have not already. Also, share with everyone that you know. He's absolutely correct. We have 7 right now. I mean, it's pretty close. Not too many people have tuned in tonight, so the likes, they aren't necessarily high, but at the same point that most people have hit the like button. So, for the most part, only a couple haven't. So, if you are part of that couple, go on and hit the like button, as it's free and you can change your mind at any time. Let me see. Mr. Chris says, was a little cool today, but bearable. I don't know why I said bearably, but bearable. Very sunny. Well, thank you so much for that weather update to where you are. My Aunt Lou comes back and says today in Georgetown it was sunny but chilly. Well, thank you so much for that weather update as well. And the same thing for my Nana as well. She says, hello, Jay, didn't make it outside today. Well, for the most part, from what everyone else is saying, it was nice out there today. My Aunt Lula says, I noticed that will experience some nice weather this week. Yes, absolutely. Nice weather is definitely going to occur this week for the most part. I mean, yes, rainfall definitely is possible for many, but it's definitely not going to be like widespread storm activity, all that kind of stuff. Mr. Chris says, my arthritis has been killing me today. Well, hopefully, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully that does get better as we get throughout the night tonight. Dad says, good evening, cousin. I hope you had a wonderful day. Reporting extremely beautiful weather here in Central Texas. Well, glad that you are receiving some great weather over there in Texas and that you're able to report out to us. Terrell says, greetings, everyone. Greetings to you. How was your day? My day was great, and as I stayed in all day. Well, if it was nice inside, then I don't blame you. I do not blame you at all. And then Mr. Chris says, currently, according to my thermometer outside, it is 45 degrees here inside of Moncks Corner. Well, mine says 45. My older one says 45. My newer one says 46. And my location is said 49 on the map that I just showed. So, I mean, I more trust the newer one. So it was like 3 degrees off. But like I said, that forecast that I show with the live temperatures, that's a forecast that's not told on the ground. And it's actually just what the temperature maps show. And so, obviously, it's not going to be 100% accurate because it's not actually on the ground getting temperatures. It's just forecasting it from models. So, it would be good for me to go on and get one. Maybe I might have to make like a map or something like that, but that would take a a long time to go and get updated unless I found something for that. But that's what we got. I mean, it still works. If it works, it works. So now let's go on and talk about the full locations outside of South Carolina. You might be asking, what full locations am I talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about those locations is because we have people who tune in almost nightly, and so because they tune in almost nightly and it's not even their location, we go on and talk about those areas for them. So we'll start off with San Antonio first. We have low temperatures tonight at 71, high temperatures tomorrow at 86, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 71 as well. 71 as well. There is indeed no chance for any sort of precipitation as you go throughout tonight, but tomorrow during the day, you have no risk as well. But tomorrow night, there is a slight chance of showers, and patchy fog definitely is possible as you go throughout tomorrow night as well. And so that's something that you're going to have to watch for. Now, in terms of severe weather, nothing for you but excessive rainfall. You do have a slight risk for excessive rainfall on Thursday going into Friday. And so you will have to watch out for that as you go into Thursday. Now, in terms of Raleigh, North Carolina, you have low temperatures tonight at 35, high temperatures tomorrow at 64, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 48. No precipitation is expected until you get to tomorrow night, where there is a chance of rainfall. And then for the most part, no severe weather, no excessive rainfall for you either. Then for Philadelphia, you have low temperatures tonight at 33, high temperatures tomorrow at 48, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 39. No precipitation, same thing with excessive rainfall and severe weather, as none of that is expected for you. Then for Duncan, Oklahoma, the final area, low temperatures tonight at 52, high temperatures tomorrow at 81, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 53, as there is indeed no precipitation that is expected at this time, but definitely could potentially see some on Wednesday going into Thursday, as on Wednesday, isolated flash flooding is possible, and then on Thursday, scattered flash flooding is possible for you. And that's all that I have for those four areas. What's going on throughout the entire U.S. right now currently, weather news-wise? Showers and thunderstorms alongside with heavy elevation snow will begin to develop over parts of the southwest late tonight and is expected to continue through Wednesday morning. Mountain snow over parts of the northeast will continue through Tuesday. A few strong to severe storms and heavy rainfall is possible across portions of the lower Ohio Valley on Tuesday. And so a lot of stuff going on, but even a little bit of a fire risk as well ongoing as we continue through. I think it was mainly just for today, as I think that the main threat for it, if I believe so, it goes from Tuesday afternoon to the evening. So yeah, fire weather conditions are possible from Tennessee to Virginia and North Carolina, also over into Georgia. But they don't say really anything on the map for it. They don't really say anything too much on the map for any sort of fire risk. And that's all that I have here for that. And so that's going to about wrap this up. Let's go on and talk about the top fans. Top fans for the night tonight. If I am not mistaken, I got to go back and count here a little bit. I believe Mr. Chris was at number 1 for tonight. My Aunt Lou was at number 2. And then Trail was at number 3. Congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans for the night tonight. And so if you want to be a part of the top fans, you can. You just have to be here early, and you have to be a subscriber of the channel, because the chat is on subscriber-only mode, and you have to be active as well. You have to be active. And so and then make sure that you go and hit the like buttons. Again, 15 people have tuned in, and only 7 likes so far. If you are part of that 8 that have not hit the like button yet, go in and do so. It's free. You can change your mind at any time. And then subscribe, 615, trying to get to 700. If you are new, if you have hit the subscribe button before, don't hit it again, because it will unsubscribe you. And share it with all the people that you know. And that's all. So everyone have a fantastic rest of your Monday evening, and I will be back tomorrow morning with your Tuesday morning forecast update. Make sure that you are there, and same thing tomorrow evening, 9 o'clock p.m., Tuesday evening forecast update.